Elliot Friedman dropped the news on all of us yesterday. The trade talk involving Mr. Karlsson had heated up over the last little while, with Vegas, Dallas, and Vancouver among the teams kicking tires. Obviously, the Vancouver angle to this was new. We all then began to wonder, would Vancouver really do this? Well, Sportsnet's John Shannon posed that question to Canucks GM Jim Benning yesterday. Benning's answer? No truth to it. More cold water was poured on the Vancouver angle earlier today after Andy Strickland of Fox Sports Midwest tweeted the following. Word is Erik Karlsson does not want to sign an extension with a Canadian team. #sends. There's a lot of layers to this, Tim. With more on that, we go to a cottage just outside of our nation's capital and say hello.
Mallory Town. Don't disrespect
I
Mallory
gotta get it
Town.
right. I'll get it right. Don Brennan. When last we spoke to him, at least in the Christmas time, we were freezing at Parliament Hill. Today's temperature is a little warmer, and the temperature has been turned up on the Karlsson story without question. Don, good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. I hope you guys appreciate that I've changed out of my Speedo. I know the camera angle doesn't go that low, but I'm doing really good.
Out of the Speedo, into the golf shirt. We definitely appreciate it, because normally when I see tight clothes, it's on Zixero, and it's worse. What's going on in Ottawa in the response to this news about Erik Karlsson? Because a lot of people took the Canucks angle yesterday. Sid and I sat here today and said, like, can he return to the Sens? Will he be there when they open camp? Like, he picked the puck out of the net for a reason. I don't think he's coming back. Do you see a spot where he returns for camp?
Well, I wouldn't be totally surprised. I mean, I don't think there's any real rush to get it done before camp. But we don't know where both sides are right now. We don't know what the Senators' plan is. I mean, they have a plan, we think. We don't know what Erik Karlsson wants. We know that he would like to stay in Ottawa. Some of us don't think he wants to stay in Ottawa under the current ownership. I think a lot of us believe that. But I don't see that there's a rush. I think all along the Senators have wanted to make sure that they get what they are looking for, all the pieces that they want. And why is it necessary to get it done before September 13th or before camp begins or before the season starts? If you hang on to him, he's an asset. He's going to be an asset, playing his hardest, looking to make a big impact on the season. I think Erik Karlsson's a very confident guy. I think that his ankle is 100% now, and I think that he's looking forward to putting up a good season. I don't see that Senators should be in a rush to trade him. I think there's going to be some desperate teams as the trade deadline approaches, and I think they're just going to stand pat and wait till they get what they want.
Don, you mentioned there's a lot of differing opinions on what Erik Karlsson wants. What do you think he wants?
Right. I mean, I think that he likes Ottawa. He's bought a home downtown in the Glebe, and he would be very happy to play his entire career here. But I also think that he wants to be paid accordingly. He wants to be the highest paid defenseman in the NHL, as he should be, right? So I think he's going to hold out until that time comes, until that offer is there. Now, is he going to sign an extension with a team just because they trade for him now? And he's going to know, of course, if that team is prepared to meet his demands. I don't know necessarily that he will. I think that Erik Karlsson, if he doesn't get what he wants in Ottawa and playing in Ottawa for the Senators for a different owner, I think he's prepared to go to the UFA market, the unrestricted free agency market, July 1st, and then let all 30 other teams bid on him. I think he's confident enough, and I know the injury situation, I mean, there's a risk, but I don't think that he's worried about that. I think Erik Karlsson is going to go out and have a good season and let the cards fall where they may.
What do you make of today's news about not signing a long-term extension in Canada?
Not surprised. I mean, is he going to be traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs? Is he going to be traded to the Montreal Canadiens? No, obviously not. Now, Vancouver's been ruled out. Vancouver's a rebuilding team. He doesn't want to be part of a rebuilding team, I wouldn't think. Edmonton, Winnipeg, Calgary, good teams. But Erik Karlsson, I see him as a bit of a Hollywood type guy, right? Like, I can see him down in LA. I can see him being in a sunny climate. I can see him being in Tampa. I think that he wants to be in a very comfortable situation, collecting a lot of money and playing in a market where hockey is exciting. And there's a couple of them down there, and a couple of them are in position to offer him the kind of money that he wants.
What's going to be tougher to do, Don? Get a trade done with Pierre Dorion or sign him long-term eventually? What's the tougher of the two propositions?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that Pierre Dorion is listen, he needs to make a good trade here. This can't be another Jason Spezza to Dallas trade. They need to get prospects. They need to get players. They need to get some tangible value for Erik Karlsson. So Pierre Dorion is going to be very, very careful on this one. So that's going to be tough. But I think it's going to be more unlikely for him to get the kind of money he wants in Ottawa. I think that the extension. I mean, I don't know why you didn't come right out if you're the Ottawa Senators. And after Drew Doughty signed for $11 million a year, I don't know why you would come out. And what we are led to believe is they offered north of 10. Well, not north of 10. You go to 11. You know that he wants to be the highest paid player. So I think that was almost insulting. Now you can say it's negotiation tactics. I don't know. I would start the negotiation at 11 if I was serious about signing him.
And you're in no position to negotiate with him. Like, it's kind of obvious that he holds all the cards and that the fan base is pissed off at the owner. And dare I say, look down at Cap Friendly and see Mark Stone is an unrestricted free agent at the end of next season. Matt Duchene is an unrestricted free agent at the end of next season. Like, how much do these decisions affect those guys moving forward?
Yeah, that's another good question. I mean, is Erik Karlsson really concerned about the pieces that they have, that they surround him with? I think he is. I think he wants to play for a winner. So, but I think that everything sort of relies on the other. I mean, Matt Duchene, is he going to be a guy that wants to sign in Ottawa if Erik Karlsson isn't here? If it's not going to be a winner or a contender, because Matt Duchene has always wanted to play in the playoffs, and he hasn't had a lot of opportunity to do that. Mark Stone, you know, the interviews with Mark Stone after he signed his one-year contract, he never once said that he wanted to be part of the long-term answer here. He said, my focus is on the now. So I think that he wants to wait and see how everything pans out and what kind of a team they're doing, and he wants to see what the plan is. Matt Duchene talked about knowing and appreciating and being excited about the plan at the end of last season when we talked to him. But, I mean, we're not given any indication that it's an exciting or a successful type of a plan. We don't know what's going on, but right now it just doesn't look good. I mean, it doesn't look like they've got a lot of guys on the same boat going forward here and to be able to contend this season.
Don, let's assume he gets dealt over the next 3 weeks. What's the reaction of the fan base if that happens? Are they now resigned to this? Are they angry, or is everyone seeing this coming a mile away?
Well, I think there's some hockey people that want to see what they get in return and want to really evaluate it. But I think the general reaction, I mean, there hasn't been a player like Erik Karlsson in Ottawa ever before. And I think that a lot of the fan base is resigned to the fact that he's moving on, and I think there's a lot of unhappiness about it. We don't know what the season ticket sales are at right now, but based on all the bad news, all the bad press the team has received, I wouldn't be surprised if it's very low. And I think that, again, a part of this is Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson is a very popular player. You look at his talent, and that's the one thing. And he's going to be worth the price of admission every time you go, or most times you go to the rink. But they don't have a lot of other assets that make it very exciting right now. I think that Erik Karlsson is a guy, he's a charismatic guy, and he has won over a lot of people in the city. So I think that the general feeling is going to be very, very disappointed when he is finally traded. No matter what they get back, it's a lose trade for the Ottawa Senators, if you ask me.
Don Brennan, Ottawa Sun, on vacation, but kind of not on vacation anymore because we called him. Don, appreciate the time. I have a feeling we're going to call you again over the next little while. Will you talk to us then?
I will be very happy to talk to you anytime, boys.
All right. There is Don Brennan, happily out of the Speedo and onto your television.
I kind of wanted to see the Speedo, I'm not going to lie. I kind of wanted to see the Speedo. Let that
pan down.
Let that breathe, Donnie.
Don't
Let it breathe.
Don't pan down.
Vacation Brennan, I want to see it.